I do so much driving for work now that I'm going to be taking it in 60, 70, 80,000 miles. So we'll see if anything major fails. All the haters at the beginning said, wait till you hit 40,000 miles or 30,000 miles or whatever, and your car is going to fail. No failures here! Everything's fine with me. Yeah, well, that came back to bite me. And as you can see, I'm driving the Escape. And the reason I'm driving the Escape is because the ST went down. It was Wednesday, so the 3rd of July, the day before the 4th. I was driving, I was pulling out of Phoenix Children's Hospital, going right toward the 51, I think it is. And basically there's an area where it goes from like asphalt to concrete, and the asphalt is kind of like just bubbled up. So they're pretty significant. It's a bump. It's not like a crazy bump. I've hit it before, and I hit this, and I've hit it before, so I was like, oh, whatever, no big deal. So as I'm driving along, and keep in mind it's 111 degrees outside, so very hot, and I'm driving from Phoenix to Chandler, so it was about a 35-minute drive. And I notice that first gear is a little, I can't get it to catch like smoothly. It's like I haven't driven stick before. So I was like, oh, it's probably just me. I'm just not concentrating enough. So I get to the next red light, and I'm really focusing on first gear and just being a smooth transition from releasing the clutch. Still, it's jerky. Something doesn't feel right. And I notice seconds like that. I notice third is like that. So I'm like, what is wrong? The one thing I didn't do is check the temperature gauges. So I drive, I go to the office that I needed to go to, get back in the car, and I also noticed that when I opened the door to the car that something didn't quite smell right. So I kind of looked around the car, didn't see anything. There was no smoke coming up out of from under the hood. And I got back in the car, started it up, pulled out of the office, drove probably a half mile, and all of a sudden the engine light comes on and it says, engine is overheated, please stop the vehicle and turn it off. So I was like kind of freaking out, and at this point also power had been cut from the car. So when I would hit the gas pedal, it felt like I had like 5 horsepower. It was crazy. So luckily I was able to pull off the road, pulled into a parking spot, shut the car off, and popped the hood. Popped the hood, looked down through the engine bay, and I see this image. So as you can see in this image, there is some orange fluid, so it's coolant, that was all throughout the engine bay. And as we've talked about before, checked out the card and the link in this video to a previous video, there have been low coolant levels on the car. My thought is there was something wrong with the radiator from day one, and it was never addressed. So what ended up happening was there was a hole in my radiator. I had to take it from here, as you can see it getting on the tow truck, and they took it to the Ford dealership. Ford, then I went in today, talked to them about it, and yeah, there's a hole in my radiator, so that's why all the coolant drained and everything. So the other problem, it is $900 to fix, because they have to replace the whole radiator. And after looking at the OEM part, I never really took time to look at the radiator. You can see it's just it's cheap plastic with metal. If you go with the Mountoon triple bypass radiator, which is what I was going to replace it with, you can see it's metal everywhere. It's a much higher quality part. So then that gets you thinking again, like higher end cars, why do you pay more for them? Well, there's no plastic on them like on radiators, and like on the intercooler, on the stock intercooler, I'm pointing to this like it's the ST. On the stock intercooler, on the edges of it where the piping comes in, that's all plastic. When you go aftermarket, that's all metal. It's a much better built part. But again, that's what they do to cut costs. I'm going to get that all replaced. I was thinking of going with the Mountoon triple bypass rate. I was like, I'm going to pay like $600 for this thing, and then I have to wait for it to come in, get it installed. Like, I need my car for work. It wasn't, it wasn't like the intercooler broke. Then I would have upgraded the intercooler, but I'm like, let's just do the OEM part. You can order whatever. They give you a warranty on it and everything, so we're just going that route. So that really sucks. That's been like the first major fail. I would consider that a major failure on the car. The engine is fine. They tested everything, compression. They did all that stuff. Everything is totally fine. But it was just, there was a hole in the radiator. Now, I'm gonna go put on my tin cap here and go totally sci-fi on you. Here is what I suspect happened. I noticed from day one on my car, this seam right here, okay? With the Kona Blue, that's a very hard color. If you were to wreck the car, that would be extremely hard to paint match that, because it's purple, it's got layers, it's all this stuff. So that would be a hard... On the front bumper, in certain lights, you can see that the front bumper is just a little, it's darker than the rest of the car. Now in broad daylight, you can't tell. Like walking near the car, you can't tell, but from certain angles, it looks like at some point it was resprayed. But I never wrecked the car, and I bought it with 8 miles on it. So there's no way from my ownership that I ever did anything. But there was a curb rash on one of the wheels, and recently when I removed the front bumper, there was a clip that was broken on the underside of the hood, and the only reason that would be broken is because the bumper had been removed. So adding all of those together makes me think that at some point my ST might have been, I don't know, like bumped into something that could have punctured a hole in the radiator. Plus the fluid was always getting lower and lower and lower with coolant. So adding all of those together with this being the final outcome really makes me wonder what happened to my car before I had it. Even though it was totally brand new, I feel like something weird happened, and I could be totally wrong, and there's no way I can ever trace that now. But it just makes you wonder with all those things adding up. What am I going to do? Well, the car is going to be fixed, and it's going to be fixed at Ford, so I have confidence that they'll do a nice job and they'll do it right. What it made me start to think was, you know, what do I want the future of this channel to be? Do I want to continue making ST videos? I've really exhausted just about everything I can do. The only other things I can do would be upgrading the ST, wheels, brakes, big turbo, like you can go that whole route. But for me personally, doing that to a front-wheel drive car is not that exciting. I would rather do that to a rear-wheel drive or all-wheel drive car and start with a different platform. I love the ST, but I like where it's at. And for YouTube, that doesn't work because people like to see progression. And I agree with that. I've been kind of stalling on what I want to do next, and I think a lot of the reason my channel hasn't grown is because for the most part, it's, you know, not a ton has changed on the car, nothing dramatic. So for my job, I'm driving a lot. So I'm a medical device sales rep, and there's a lot of driving involved. You just beat the hell out of your car. I'm thinking of getting like a cheap car, like a Civic or something, used, whatever, just with a good warranty, driving the hell out of that for my daily driver, and then getting something for a secondary car. We had talked about the Supra a lot, talked about the M2. I'm still in debate, and I also love the Golf R. I absolutely love that car. It is so well built that I love the DSG transmission. I love the quality interior. I love how it's funny how I've really come around on that car. If you've been watching me for a while, I've been pretty harsh on it in the past just because the looks are so subdued. But after you drive it, you're like, holy shit, this is a car. This is a great car. So that's maybe a possibility as well. I would rather be in a Supra or an M2. The other thing, I've been thinking about this for over a year now, and doing something really big with the ST, something you're probably not expecting from a channel like this, and I'm committing to doing it. So I'm just going to say it on camera now, that way there's no backing out. Just stay tuned. If you are not subscribed to the channel, this is the time to subscribe. I promise you it'll be worth your time. Yeah, I'm going to do something big with the ST coming up here. Just make sure you're subscribed, pay attention to the videos coming out. I think within the next couple weeks I'll release the video announcing what's going to happen. Yeah. If you're interested in the Ford Escape, I just recently did a video on it. You can check the card at the top of your screen. I just came up here to detail the wheels. So I got the wheels all cleaned up, and I just got actually new tires on it. So I got the Eagle RSA 2s. Really nice tire. And I actually went with 245 19s. So really nice tire, happy with it, like how it looks. Here's the take a look at the tread pattern. So yeah, stay tuned. Thank you for watching this video. Sorry it's a depressing ST went down video, but I like to bring all the updates that way you guys can know what to expect from your STs, or maybe some preventative maintenance. The only preventative maintenance I can tell you is just upgrade your radiator, but I I don't know, it's like the Mountain one is like a 10% decrease in temperature, which is great, and it's a higher end product, but it's not an exciting upgrade, you know? It's not like you throw an exhaust or wheels or something. It's more of, it's an adult upgrade, I guess we'll call it. So I gotta go into work right now. I gotta do some restocks at the hospital. There was I really don't think I can say anything about what happened, but just be thankful that you're in good health, because there was a severe trauma case where all I can say is a kid was run over by a car, and they had to put a ton of plates and screws in this kid's head. So when I think about, you know, things happening to other people, and you know what, oh, my radiator broke, big deal. You know, there's a lot of crazy things that happen in the world, and that kind of helps me put things in perspective. And I was really down about this, but there's way worse things that can happen. Made a video about it, and maybe I'll help one of you with preventative maintenance. You can check out your radiators. Maybe that's a common issue. I know a lot of people have that issue with their radiators and the coolant level constantly dropping, and maybe it's a slow leak that it's a manufacturer defect. So we'll see. Thanks for watching. Like the video if you haven't already, and we'll see you next time. Down by the Diamondback Stadium right there. It's a big fireworks show tonight, just dropping off something at my boss's house. And this dude that works at the valet in front of his place, he loves my ST. So I pull up, he's like, "What's up, man? Where's the ST?" And I'm like, it went down. So just a little right in the heart. But it is kind of nice to, you know, it's funny, you take it for granted what you have every day, and that dude loves it. Even when he pulls it up, sometimes he'll pull it up like 30 feet just to get it out of the way, and he loves the ST. But he doesn't know, there's more coming.